Hello all, good evening. Welcome to our channel AlphaTech. First of all, I'm really happy to thank you everyone for your immense support for our channel. Being a new creator and getting a lots of love and support from you all guys is really a blessing. And today is our third video on our master course structured query language. And we will be looking into the contents of today's videos. Today we will be knowing about what all the languages that are present in SQL, and we'll be having a knowledge on DDL, DML, DQL, TCL, and DCL. Don't be worried what all they are. We'll be getting a knowledge on what all they are and why they are kept in SQL and what are the major importance of these languages. Yes, SQL has five sublanguages. They are data definition language, which means DDL, data manipulation language, DML, data query language, DQL, transaction control language, TCL, and data control language, DCL. These are the five sublanguages that are present in SQL. And in the next slides, we'll be looking into each of them, what they are, and why are they so important, and what are the commands that these languages hold. And main thing is that make sure that these three languages are most important for us and we are learning them properly. Done. And our next slide is data definition language. In the name itself it says that it's a definition language, which means it defines, sorry guys, it defines and manages the structure of database, which means it helps us in creating, modifying, and deleting objects in our database, such as tables, views, and indexes. And the key thing is that it only helps us to shape the skeleton of our database, but not the data inside it. Okay, which means we will be having a table, and this DDL helps us to define the name of the table, the column names, and the structure of the table, but not what the data should be inside the table or inside the database. Fine. Hope you got a bit clarity on what is data definition language. And these are the five commands that are present in data definition language. Yes, and the first one is create. This helps us in creating databases, tables, and other objects. And alter. Alter is the second command in DDL, which helps us to modify the structure of an existing object, which means we already have column names, table name, right? And this helps us to modify that table name or column name or the data types of that column or column of the data. Done. And rename. This helps us to rename the table or the column name. Done. And drop. Drop helps us to delete an object permanently from the database, which means we are unable to find any record of the data in our database. And truncate. This helps us to remove all the rows, but it keeps the structure. The difference between drop and truncate is that drop deletes the values and the structure entirely from the table, and we don't even have proofs or we are unable to see where the data is. But whereas truncate deletes the entire values in the row, but it keeps the structure. For example, we have a table named class, and we have two columns. One is roll number and student name. Right now, let's compare with drop and truncate. So drop deletes the, right now we need to delete roll numbers. So drop removes the roll numbers entirely and we are unable to see the structure or even the column name. But truncate keeps the column name, roll number as it is and deletes all the roll numbers below it. That's the difference between drop and truncate. Let's jump into our language 2, data manipulation language. Yes, It's also a subset of SQL where we use it to work with data that is stored inside the database objects, which means this helps us to add new records into our database, change the existing values in our database, and remove unwanted rows from the database. Yeah, and these are the three commands that are present in DML: insert, which helps us to add new rows or new data into our table, and update, which helps us modifying the values that are already inserted into the table, and delete. This deletes a specific row from a table, right? And C, we have delete, drop, and truncate, which are three different parts in SQL, right? And this is the most important fetching tool or fetching command that we use throughout our SQL. And that language is data query language. And this language helps us to retrieve data from a database. And this is the single powerful statement select that helps us to filter, sort, group, and combine data to answer any question. And remember, this is the main command that uses or that we use to interact with the database more than any other command in SQL. These are the three most important languages that we have. Don't be worried about syntaxes of the languages. We'll be getting into coding syntaxes and we'll be solving them on SQL Workbench, which will be a real life example for us. And we can even deploy that same project in our GitHub repositories as well. And this is our fourth language, transaction control language. Let me give you a simple example. Every day we make UPI payments, right? We use Phone Pay, Google Pay, Super Money, Amazon, Bharat Pay, Navi, and all. But we need to understand whether our payment is successful or not. Whenever we make a payment, we get a tick mark, and Phone Pay, we get the voice of Mahesh Babu saying money is credited, right? And this language is an epitome for that use case. And these are the three commands of TCL: commit, which saves all the changes that are happened, which means I'm having 1,000 rupees in my account and I'm transferring 100 rupees to my friend B. Right now, my system needs to recognize that I had sent 100 rupees to my friend B, and it needs to reduce my 100 rupees and show me the balance of 900 rupees. That's what this commit does. And roll back. If there was any technical error and the money had not been sent to my friend B, that needs to be updated and that amount needs to be in my account itself. For that case, rollback helps us, which means it undoes all the changes that are not saved. The transaction is not successful, it always pulls back the money into our account. We'll be seeing this amount processing money. This happens because of this rollback command only. And save point. This sets a marker to roll back, which means right now we are having this processing money. We need to know whether that amount is credited to our bank or it's credited to our friend or to other external users. And this helps us the update of our rollback. Done. Hope we are having a clear understanding on transaction control language, right? And our next language is data control language. This is also a subset of SQL, which helps us to control access of the data. Okay, right now we are having a database of our marks. Like we are having 6 subjects, all Telugu, Hindi, English, Maths, Social Science, History, Geography, and all. And this marks needs to be accessible only for school teachers, but not for school students, right? And this data control language helps us to give permissions and to revoke permissions, which means we are having the database marks where the marks database is only granted to teachers but not for students. If the student tries to log into the database, it revokes saying unauthorized access. Right. So data control language has the ability to grant permissions to log into your database or to revoke the permissions to get into your database. And this is for today. Hope we had understanding on all the languages that we have in SQL. Right? Thank you all and see you. And be awaited. In our next videos, we'll be diving deep into each and every language, each and every command, and we will be solving a real life project where we can use that in our GitHub repository. Thank you. Have a great day.